Tekla Tedds is a simple-to-use software for automating hand calculations, created by engineers for engineers. Tedds is for civil and structural engineers, but not specific to a sector. So it's not specific, for instance, to buildings or infrastructure, offshore, onshore. It's across a whole host of different sectors and is useful for all of them. So Tedds is incredibly diverse in what it allows you to do. Tedds enables engineers to produce professional quality hand calculations and automate those calculations to enable them to work quicker, more efficiently, and get work out the door as quickly as possible. In terms of why it's so widely used, it is generally down to the calculation library that we have. There's around about 180 or so different calculations that Tedds can perform both to Eurocode and to British standards, depending on which code you're working to. Its primary role really is to speed up the generation of those calculations, but is also to produce professional level documentation, which you can then send to your clients or building control in order to detail out what you're looking to communicate to your client. So the feedback we get from our customers is that Tedds really helps to eliminate any errors that can creep in during calculations, especially repetitive calculations. Because the output is predominantly locked, those errors simply can't occur unless you're adding them in as a variable, which is unlikely. I was speaking to a customer yesterday regarding one of the calculations within the library itself, which is a steel masonry support. Now that calculation is a really complicated calculation to do by hand. It takes multiple hours at times, depending on what variables we're putting in. Now Tedds has that calculation within it. Now that we can probably do within 10 to 15 minutes, so that the time savings we can provide with Tedds on such examples are vast. So probably one of the main advantages to Tedds is it can really save our engineering customers substantial amounts of time, which allows them to get through more work, and therefore it allows them to get more work in. Tedds is incredibly easy to use. So the interface of which is really straightforward. It's Windows-based. It's incredibly simple in terms of there's only a few options for you to go through. You're able to produce individual calculations on their own or combine those calculations into a project to then be able to print and send to your checking engineer as a completed document. So the projects we created in the main calculation, we're able to send those through to Tedds for Word. Now, Tedds for Word is more powerful than the main Tedds program itself. It enables you to customize our own calculations within Tedds for Word, which is where the real power lies. That's where our more advanced customers have created their own calcs and then are using them on a daily basis. Formatting your calculations in whichever way you want, whether that be with graphs, pictures on site, any additional text that you may want to add in to really enable your output and what you're delivering to your client to be totally customized to what you want it to be. You're also able to, for instance, change your project sheet to suit, again, your business, whether that's the header, names, etc. You can totally customize it to be as you want it to be. The Tedds engineering library is divided up into different aspects. So we've divided things into material, but we've also divided things into the element themselves to make it easy for our customers to find what they're looking for. So Tedds library has multi-material calculations in there: masonry, concrete, retaining walls, steel. So whatever you're looking for, generally you'll find a calculation which will suit. So Tekla Tedds is a complete piece of software. All of our calculations are included within it. There are no modules or additional things to purchase along with it. It just comes with those elements within there. So we have an integration between TSD and Tedds, specifically for timber and precast elements. Now, the reason we put that through as a integration between Tedds and TSD is it allows us to have more complex shapes within our TSD model rather than 2D analysis elements within Tedds. And then we can send those analysis results from Tekla Structural Designer into Tedds, which then allows us to create our designs within our familiar Tedds area and then send them back into Tekla Structural Designer once complete, which will then update the geometry in TSD itself. So one of our main focuses the last couple of years is to enable our customers to use more of our software in conjunction with each other. So we've created the integrator tool between Tedds and Tekla Structures, which enables our customers using Tekla Structures to send information, to send any components that they have within their Tekla Structures model into Tedds to then perform the design. We can then send that information back into Tekla Structures and embed the calculation in the file for use further down the line in the project. The Tedds trial is exactly what you would get if you were buying a Tedds license, but everything is complete within there. So you get access to the engineering library, you get access to Tedds for Word and the ability to customize all of those calculations. The Tekla Tedds trial is a 30-day trial, and that 30 days starts from the moment you activate the trial. We've put a lot of effort in the last 18 months into providing as much content as we can to any potential new users to get them up to speed as quickly as we can. So we've got the first steps tutorials, which is basic formats and functions that Tedds does. But now we've also recently released our Tedds Fundamentals e-learning course, and it's freely available to all Tedds subscribers. We also have more sophisticated training course for Tedds for Word, which will enable anyone that goes through that course to understand how to create your own custom calculations. So all those with the trial, but also all those with a subscription to Tedds, have access through to something called Tekla User Assistance. This is where all of our self-help content is contained, and it also has lots of information on getting started with Tedds, getting you up to speed as fast as possible so that you too can start using Tedds to customize and create your calculations. So should you choose to be a subscriber for Tedds after or during your trial, you'll actually end up with 3 pieces of software. So you'll have obviously Tedds, which includes Tekla Tedds for Word, but you'll also get access to Tekla Structural Designer LT and to Trimble Connect Business Premium. Tekla Structural Designer LT is 3D analysis and design software specifically for buildings in mind. Now that is limited to 200 structural elements and or 8,000 FE mesh shells. Now the reason we provide that software is we want our customers to be able to design more complex elements as well as the 2D elemental things that Tedds enables them to design. Our 200 member limit is sufficient to be able to design a 1 to 2 story building, an extension at the back of a house, or something along those kinds of sizes. The differences between the full version of Tekla Structural Designer and the LT version of Tekla Structural Designer are simply that it is limited in scale. All of the functions exist, so drawing, production, the ability to analyze or design multi-material elements within there is totally unrestricted. Tekla Structural Designer also comes with British standards and Eurocodes to UK and Irish national annexes, depending on where you are based. Trimble Connect Business Premium is a collaboration tool. It enables our customers to send data files between each of the stakeholders. It allows them to access and view different models, whether that be Tekla Structural Designer, Tekla Structures, Revit files even, and be able to actually look at that data and interrogate the models themselves. They can also send information to site, should they need to other users of Trimble Connect who can access that through their phones, laptops, to make it easy for our customers to share that data as effectively as possible between multiple stakeholders.